Some people said they prefer this angle than my other angle, so I'm going to try this out for a little bit, and you let me know which one you prefer if you're a long-time viewer, if you watch my other videos. I'm Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan. I'm giving away $20,000 worth of board games in December of 2025. Go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe if you want to see that video come out. It's my Mr. Beast moment. I'm very excited to do this and give back to the channel. And yes, you'll be able to join the giveaway as well if you just follow along and then watch that video when it comes out. I'm very excited to talk about. But for today, tell me your favorite set collection board game and tell me what you're drinking. I'm drinking my normal Coke, which is a very different drink than I usually drink for now. And I'll talk about my top 10 set collection board games of all time. Thank you for following along. Thanks for being a part of this channel. If you like what we do, drop a like. If you don't subscribe, do me a favor and subscribe now so you can see all these types of videos, and turn on notifications if you want to see more of what we do more consistently, because we post every single day at 9 p.m. EST on Premiere, actually. So I'd love for you to join our premieres when we do this. Any game where your aim is to collect multiples of the same singular item or icon, or an entire array of a set of icons, like if you want one of each or multiples of one in various ways, whether it's for point, whether it's trigger abilities, whether it is to win the game, trigger end game condition, whatever it might be, that is a set collection game. At number 10, we have The Great Split. The Great Split, I played this game and I liked it so much I emailed the publisher asking for a copy, and thankfully they sent me over this game. But this game I did play before they sent it to me, and I liked it a lot. So this is Great Split. I love Great Split. I didn't like it the first time I played whatsoever. It took another few times for me to play it, for me to enjoy it as much as it did. It was overwhelming to all heck for me, and my brain was not working the day I played it. But the reason why I like Great Split for set collection is because on your board, you just have a ton of different sets you're trying to collect. What you'll be doing is you'll be doing an I split, you choose mechanic, and there's very few games I know that do that mechanic, so which is its own list I can't even make because there's not enough games I played. With I split, you choose, you're going to have like 5 cards in your hand, and you're going to split the cards in whatever orientation you want, and then give it to the person on your left. They're going to choose either side 1 or side 2 for themselves and give you the other side. And then whatever they don't take, you're going to add to your token board, and you want to collect different sets. Sometimes they matter for various reasons. There's one set that matters based on the board that's shared by all the players. You want to have it in a certain range in order for you to even score decently for it. Sometimes it matters based on how many things you have that can trigger a multiplier, because sometimes it's multiplication based. I can't even explain all the different scoring ways, because there's like 8 different ways to score on your board. But no matter what, when you push something up, when you push one thing up, it can push something else up, which can push something else up, which can push something else up. So it's one of the most chaining games I've ever played, if not the biggest chain game I've ever played, because I've never taken so many actions where this triggers this pulls that, this pushes this, which triggers another 2 things, and you will feel like you're cheating half the game, but that is the game itself. If that sounds fun to you, definitely check out The Great Split. Next up, we have Venture, which is an old game by Sid Saxon, I believe it's called, and I had a good time with it. I played it recently with a friend, and she had a blast. We want to do a full game. The game took a long time, but in this game, what you're doing is you're trying to build conglomerations of businesses, and you need to do it by like buying businesses available to you and creating a set. And now there's letters on top, which is how you know what companies can go into what sets, because there's letters A, B, C, D, E, and F, I believe, and you need to have at least one shared trait between the companies, or one shared letter between the companies, in order to make one conglomerate. But you cannot have multiple of the same types of companies, because there's different colors as well, like orange, red, blue, green, which are different types of companies. So you have to have the same letter, but different types of companies involved. And the more shared traits they have, the more shared letters they have between all the companies, the exponential amounts of money that you'll collect when the scoring happens. And scoring hits based on certain criteria. Usually it's whenever the deck runs out, whenever a certain card gets flipped. You're all going to score intermittently, and you're going to keep scoring until the game is fully over and score one more time. It's a very fun game, very satisfying on like kind of push your luck of, should I get any points throughout the game, or trying to save up for some big hits by the end of the game, because you only score if you have like 3 companies in a conglomeration. It's very interesting, very fun and simple, but honestly it can be very punishing with like a runaway lead situation. So definitely know that ahead of time. The game could take a long time if people aren't like buying from the main lineup, but that's how you end the game. And now we know that, which we'll play that next time properly for sure. Next up on this list, we have Comic Hunters. And the reason I like Comic Hunters set collection game, yes, it is a Marvel comic book IP game. And yes, I was a huge comic collector. What you don't see right here is my over 1,000 comic book collection I'm collecting since 2015, 14. But what I like about Comic Hunters is that you're not just collecting sets. You're having 4 different ways to draft. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite drafting games of all time. Whenever I make that top 10, get ready to see that game. And the reason why is because you're just collecting sets of comic characters, right? Which is pretty simple. You just want a bunch of Iron Man comics, you want a bunch of Hulk comics, you want a bunch of these comics, but you really want to grab them as eloquently as possible. So you have to make sure you get them from, there's a Seven Wonders draft where you just grab a card, put it down, and move on. There's a draft where you have to go to the convention and you choose an entire row or column, collect all the characters from that row. And it's very interesting because whatever cards, if you buy a card worth 3, you have to spend a card in your hand that's worth 3, or like add up to a value of 3. So you don't want to just grab sets. You also want to grab currency as well. Sorry if you hear that noise. It's my dog drinking right now. She's been going crazy today. So yeah, it's fun because you're not just collecting sets. You're also collecting cards in general to afford the sets you're building. It's very unique. It's a great drafting game. It's a much better drafting game than set collection, and it's already in my top 10 for set collection. So keep that in mind. Next up, we have River Valley Glassworks, which is such a unique game, such a high production game. But I had like the $80 version of it. They sent it to me for the convention, and I had a blast. This game is one of the most played games in the entire collection and the entire library. I don't know when it's ever going to leave because people play it so often, and even when it leaves, it'll go into my personal collection because I can teach that game to almost anyone. It's a little confusing at first, but then once you get used to it, you place a shape from your like pan and put it on the board, and you're going to grab the shapes or the colors and then put it into your column making. Based on the rows you make, based on the columns you make in whatever rows you make, that's how many points you're going to get. It's very interesting scoring. It is a decently luck-based game, for the record. Like, don't think that this is consistent. I will win every single time because I'm better than you. There's a lot of luck based on what you can grab, based on what your opponents can grab, based on the turn order, based on what you... I don't know. There's a good amount of autonomy in there, but I would say this is a decently luck-based game. Not fully, and there is some skill. Like, if it comes down to it, it will be based on skill more than luck, in my opinion. But if someone's worse than you, they might just get some really good pulls that you weren't able to get, and that's just part of life. So it's a good game, very fun, quick, easy to teach, easy to play. It's very important to me for the game to be able to be run back pretty quickly. Going up next, we have Let's Go to Japan. Now, Let's Go to Japan, it is a game that I didn't love the first time I played. I had a good time with it. It's a really nice thing where you're going to Japan, you're planning a trip to Japan, and you're just going to draft. And at the very end of the game, you're going to launch your engine one time, which was my gripe with the game because we were drafting for like 90 minutes, but the game's not supposed to be that long. I just talk a lot, and I was getting to know people in the game. And then we had a couple players that like it was their first time, including me, who were like trying to understand how the game works and what to draft and when to draft and what to grab. This game was fantastic on BGA though. Whenever I played this on BGA, all the minutia was done for me, and that made this game a lot more enjoyable. But in Let's Go Japan, you're trying to do a set collection because it depends on the objectives you have. Some objectives will say you want to go to like the pink cards, which are one location in Japan, this many times. Or maybe you want to go to these types of locations. So maybe they want to see a lot of scenery cards, like a lot of the flower cards. Sometimes you want to do a lot of the the talking icons. I don't really know what all the icons mean specifically in the game, but it's a set collection with these like 4 or 5 icons, and you want to be able to stay in one side of Japan as long as possible before you take a train to the other side of Japan, because that takes time between your commute, and you need to use like a bus currency, a bus ticket in order to do so. And if you don't have that, it costs like victory points or something like absurd. Also, you want to make sure you like keep your happiness markers up and up and up. And I like it that when you max out a track, the track resets and then you bump yourself up once. It's not really just like a simple where you're sitting on in the track, which I think is very interesting. So I had a great time with Let's Go Japan on BGA. I had a good time when I played it in person, but this is a very fun set collection game where your aim is really just playing the most optimal trip to Japan, which is just a fantastic thing. So this game is all around fantastic. Next up, we have Potion Explosion. Potion Explosion, it's a recipe fulfillment marble drafting game. So you're going to draft some marbles in a very unique way, where you're going to pull one marble out, and if the same color touches on either end, you can pull those out as well. And you're going to keep doing that till the 2 colors stop touching and matching. You're going to grab those marbles, put it on side of your potions to fulfill them. Once the potion's fully complete, you're going to then put it to the side, and now you have an ability you can use at any point in time on your turn. Those abilities are completely wild and fun without being like game breaky or overpowered. Now, the set collection of the game comes in because in order to score points and end the game, you need to have like 3 of the exact same type of potion fulfilled already, or 5 different kinds of potions fulfilled. And for each type of those sets, you're going to score points additionally in the game. But each potion has its own point value in there. But it's fun and a nice challenge to say like, okay, maybe I want this potion because it's easy for me to fulfill right now. But maybe I want this other potion when you're drafting potions to fill the potions that from your board that you've already completed. Like, yeah, maybe I want to go for this one because it's really easy for me right now. Maybe I want to go for this one to try to get a set collection bonus because I already have 2 of this other one. Maybe I want to go over here because the other players already are trying to grab yellow, and maybe I want something that's like red instead. Maybe I already have like black on my side. This is primarily black potion. So there's a lot of nice give and take in this game, and in the set collection, and it's pretty simple enough. This game's simple, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and again, it's one of those games that's like for anyone whatsoever. So it's a very, very fun, ingenious game. Also, another game by Horrible Guild, actually. They didn't send me this one. This one I've had, and I was very impressed by the game itself. Next up for set collection, we have Fountains, and Fountains is a tile placement building type of game where you're going to actually stack the tiles on top of each other, but it's not dexterity based. Like, you're going to draft these tiles, take actions based on a shared movement piece on the board. But the reason that's set collection is because there's various different ways to score in the game, and all of them depend on the sets you collect. For the koi fish, you choose a type of fish that you want to score whenever you're scoring it, and that's how many points you're going to get. Same thing happens with other components of Fountain. There's just a lot of different sets you're going to collect and interchangeably score. So you want to have either a nice mix of them all, or maybe want to go ham on one of them and just keep on trying to score that as many times as possible. So there's variable scoring throughout the game. I'm really becoming a fan of variable scoring board games, especially whenever there's not like a set time that you score. It's becoming fun to like, okay, do I want to prepare for that, or do I want to set up for the end game where like the big points are being scored? So Fountains did a good job with that, as well as being very ingenious with high production quality, with the tile stacking, and like the higher up you have a piece of your set, the more it's worth. Like if I have a koi fish on the bottom, it could be worth 1. If I have a koi fish on the second floor, it's worth 2. Third floor, it's worth 3. It's very difficult to stack vertically, but I understand like what they were going for, and I'm going to aim for that next time a lot more intentionally. And it really is fun. Going up next to number 3, we have Reavers of Midgard, the card game. Now again, I've never played Reavers of Midgard. If you've talked to me, you know I'm talking about Reavers of Midgard, the card game. I love the negotiation in this game. It is a negotiation-based game, and how you're collecting sets will be, you're going to flip over a card at the same time as everyone else and go to the location that you showed. So if I show 6, you show 7, you show 1, they show you 1. We all go to respective locations. If no one's there, we all gain the resources at that location. But if people are going to the exact same location, they have to negotiate for who gets what. And sometimes it's fantastic because you're both sharing, like splitting from a huge pot. Sometimes someone's grabbing the whole pot by themselves. If I go to 6 and no one played 6 because they thought everyone else was going to go 6. So it's really just kind of you're really assessing the psychological state of other people. And I really like it when you're messing with their minds. Like, you really have to determine who's going where. What are they thinking right now? What is more likely with their character? It really helps you get to know people when you play games like that as well. Especially with people you don't know, because they're kind of wild cards, and you learn from them in that game based on their actions. So if you, and for the record, even if you don't like negotiation-based games, you don't have to negotiate. It's very simple. You just say, I want this, can you take that? They say yes or no, move on. And the sets you're collecting are various. Sometimes you're collecting like a multiplier because the cards you can buy in the game, the warriors, the swordsmen are multiplied by like the people. So if you have like X hammers and like X swords, you can multiply it like 3 times 2, and that's 6 points, whatever it might be. Additionally, there's other cards in the game like that are exponential value based on, like, if you only have 1 card, it's worth 1 point, but if you have 5 cards, it's worth 25 points. It's also like paintings, where it's like you want all different types of paintings that are shown on the board, and you can negotiate for what people already have on their field. So even if someone doesn't have something on the board that you want, if you say like, hey, I'll let you have all the money in this location if you give me this thing that from your set, and it's behind their board, so if they have it, they can mention, they can trade it, or they can lie about it, like, sorry, I don't have it. It's a very fun time, and there's a lot of different sets to collect in this game for sure. Going up next to Diatoms. Diatoms is a multi-layered set collection game. So it's a double tile placement game where basically you're going to take a tile from your hand, like Carcassonne, play on the field. The only difference is for every certain shape, I can't even describe it very well, but for every certain shape that you make, you're going to then draft all of these other minor tiles based on the pattern that you just built. And you could draft a ton of them if you placed well, especially if you like fulfilled 2 or 3 different patterns simultaneously. And then you're going to place them on your current player board. Your current player board, you want it to be as symmetrical as possible, but also you want to be as varied as possible. So for instance, there are many different lines on your board, and also there's an inner circle, there's a middle circle, there's an outer circle. So on these lines, you want to have the same color and same shape along that line going on other directions. But additionally, the inner circle, outer circle, middle circle, you want to have a good variety of these different shapes of tokens. Sometimes it goes from like 1 piece all the way to 5-piece tokens. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, because on your player board, every single piece placed on your player board can only fit about 2 or 3 different types of tokens. So you can't just say like, oh, I'll put my 4-piece here if it doesn't hold 4 pieces, or maybe I'll put my 2-piece here if it doesn't hold 2 pieces. So it's fun, it's interesting, it's really unique with how satisfying it can be, and how sometimes you want to sacrifice picking up some tokens in order to get certain tokens that you specifically want. Sometimes you just want to pick up a ton of tokens no matter what they look like, and you'll just make it work by the end of the game. I like it a lot. It's a very, very fun time, very, very interesting game. And the theme I don't care about, but people really, really like it. And the production quality is fantastic. It's very shiny, very pretty, and they have acrylic tokens if you want to take it up a notch even. Before we get started, just know I need 1,000 people to follow our Kickstarter right now before it launches February 2026. The reason why it's a fully user-based channel and a fully user crowdfunded events. If we don't have the crowdfunding, I can't pay myself. It means I have to go get a different job, and I won't be able to do this full time anymore. So going into my final favorite set collection game, if you watch our videos, we just talked about it, and I'll say why I'm so passionate about it again. We have Red Rising. Now in Red Rising, what you're aiming to do, and the reason why it's set collection Red Rising is because depending on what cards you have in your hand, that's how you're gonna score by the end of the game. You all start off with the same amount of cards, about like 5 cards each. And what you'll do on your turns, you'll play a card from your hand, put it on this shared player board, and do the effect of that card. You'll play a card in one location, and then pick up a card in another location, and do that ability of the column that you picked up from. Now at the bottom of every single card, it's a scoring effect saying, oh, this will score this many points if you have this other character in your hand. This will score this many points for each gold in your hand. This will score this many points based on every purple in your hand. So it is a game where you're really chasing the various types of sets on the board. Sometimes it's push your luck. It's like you have a card in your hand that will score 40 points if you just find one specific character that's somewhere in the game, somewhere in the deck, and maybe in someone's hand. Maybe there are cards in your hand that like, okay, there's a bunch of gold on the board, and I want to pick up this one card that will say +2 for every gold in your hand, and to start doing a gold focused set collection game. Sometimes you want and there's also different ways to score in the game as well. There's like the red crystal. There is this flight track that you got to push up. There is a first player token that will give you points, and like I don't know, let you roll a die and something like that. This game is fun. It's unique. It's interesting. It's one of my favorite Stonemaier games of all time. So definitely, if you care about that, those factors I just talked about, check out Red Rising, and you can get it for super cheap these days. That's everything for today. Thank you so much for following our channel. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you don't subscribe yet, do me a favor and subscribe right now to see more videos like this. If you like the video, drop a like in this video. If you're on mobile, give us a hype. It really boosts up our numbers. If you're on Board Game Geek right now, definitely just hop over to YouTube and drop a subscribe right now. And share this video to a friend of people that you want to play set collection games with. Until next time, peace, have a great day, God bless, and I really hope to see you at a table soon.